Welcome to Ask IITians video lecture of Trigonometry. My name is Sunil Kumar. I am a graduate from IIT Kharagpur and I have been associated with Ask IITians as an in-house faculty for mathematics. Now, in this topic of trigonometry, first of all, we will understand what trigonometry means. Trigonometry is the mathematics of lines and angles. Based on a particular angle, the inclination of the line and the adjacent sides have a particular ratio. Now, these ratios are what is defined by trigonometric identities. In this part, we will look into the basic introduction of trigonometry and its basic trigonometric identities like sine theta, cos theta and tan theta, and what are their formulation methods and how these are derived. So let's move into the lecture and look into this part. Hi, welcome to the Ask IITians video lecture of trigonometry. Now, what is trigonometry? Trigonometry is the mathematics of sides with respect to the angles. Now, in trigonometry, we have basically we study a triangle. We calculate the sides with respect to the angles that are given. So, in this chapter, we will look at that part. So, in this chapter, we shall study some ratios of the sides of a right angle triangle with respect to the acute angles, also called the trigonometric ratios of the angles. We will also define the trigonometric ratios for angles of the measures 0 to 90 degree. We will calculate trigonometric ratios of some specific angles and establish some identities involving these ratios. We call them as trigonometric identities. So basically, it is the study of triangles and the relationship between the bodies and the angles of these sides. So, if I look at trigonometry, it is derived from the Greek word trigon and metron. All these three letters give us the meaning that trigonometry is nothing but the measures of the sides of the three sides of the triangle. So, if I look at a right angle triangle that we are going to study here, it is drawn like this. Okay. So, basically this will be my 90 degree, and using these acute angles we will calculate the sides of this triangle. Let's look into that. I have my right angle triangle. Okay. So, this is my right angle triangle. Now, this right angle triangle can be defined as A, B and C. So, with respect to the side A, let us name it as theta. Now, remember, in this part, whenever we draw a triangle, right angle triangle, whichever angle we are considering, that is termed as theta. So, like this over here. So, now when I term this as theta, this is my hypotenuse and the adjacent side becomes the base. So, automatically this will become my perpendicular. So, these are the key letters we need to understand: the hypotenuse as H, the perpendicular as P and the base as B. Now, let us define these trigonometric ratios. When I define the trigonometric ratios, if I take the sine of that angle, remember this is my 90 degree, this is my A, this is B and this is C. So, this becomes my theta. Okay. Now, if I take the sine of this angle, the value of that is the side opposite to angle A by the hypotenuse, also known as BC by AC, or how we defined this as H, P and B. So, with respect to that, this becomes my P by H. Simultaneously, this becomes my B by H. It is the side adjacent to angle A. Now, remember, sine is the side opposite to angle A and cos is the side adjacent to the angle A in the numerator. both their denominators are hypotenuse. So over here I get P by H and B by H. Next I look at the tangent of that angle A. So when I take tangent, it automatically becomes the side opposite to angle A and the side adjacent to angle A. So that will give my P by B. So these are my basic trigonometric ratios. So this becomes sine of theta is equal to P by H, cos of theta becomes B by H, tan of theta becomes P by P. Alright, now let's move on to the next part. Alongside the three basic trigonometric ratios, we have the cosecant of the angle, secant of the angle and the cotangent, also known as sec theta, this is sec theta, this is cosec theta and this is my cot theta. Okay. Now cosec theta, it is opposite to the sine theta. So this becomes opposite to that. So this becomes H by P. Sec theta is inverse of cos theta. So this becomes H by P. And the cot theta is opposite to the or the inverse of the tan theta. So this will becomes my adjacent angle AB. So this becomes B by P. Okay. So like this, I define this as cosec theta is equals to H by P, sec theta as H by P and cot theta as B by P. Okay. So now we have defined all the 6 trigonometric ratios. The most important thing to learn is the sine and the cos. If I know sine and cos, I can calculate all the 4 of the rest remaining. How? I have my sine A, cos A, tan A, cosec, sec and cot A. Okay. Now we know that the reciprocals of sine, cos and tan is cosec, sec and cot. So if I am defined with sine, cos and tan, I can directly take out this. But it is also to understand that if I know sine and cos, I can basically define tan. Why? Because tangent of any angle is equal to sine A by cos A. Okay. How is that? Remember, tan A is P by B, which I can also write by P by H by B by H, right? So that gives me this. So if I know only sine and cos, I can take out all the 4 remaining. Alright, let's move on to the next part. See the description that I have already given, it is shown over here. Okay. Now to find the hypotenuse, we use Pythagoras theorem. Okay. So let's say if there is some side AB given to be 4 and BC given to be 5, we know that AC will be some value. Alright. Let's look into a question based on the things that we have studied. Now, it is given that my tan of A is equals to 4 by 3. You need to find the other trigonometric ratios of this angle A. Now, let's draw my triangle first. This is my 90 degree. This is my A, B and C. Now, it is given to me that tan A is equals to 4 by 3. Now tan, what is tan? My tan is P by B, right, which is BC by AB, right? So if I know them, I can take out my third part also, right, using the Pythagoras theorem. So my AC will automatically become 4 square plus 3 square root under, that gives me 5, right? So I know all the three sides of the triangle. So my sine A is equal to BC by AC, which will give me 4 by 5. My cos of A will be AB by AC, which is equal to 3 out of 5. Similarly, if I continue on, I can take tan is defined to me, so I'll take out cosec A, which is opposite to sine, 1 by sine A. My sec A will be equal to 1 by cos A, and my cot A will be equal to 1 by tan A. So if I take out all of them, this will become 3 by 4, right? And cos, as we had defined, what was my cos? My cos was 3 by 5 and my sine was 4 by 5. So my sec will become 5 by 3 and this will become by 5 by 4. So like this we can define all the trigonometric ratios if we know just one. Okay, so that was all in part 1 of trigonometry. Stay tuned for part 2. Hi, so that was all in our part 1. Okay, so in this part what did we look? We look into the trigonometric ratios, basic introduction, and how each of the trigonometric function is defined, or the trigonometric ratio, how these are defined. Now based on our knowledge of Pythagoras theorem and the formulas and properties of trigonometric ratios, in this part we define sine, cos and tan. Now in the next part what we'll look into the values of each trigonometric ratio pertaining to a certain angle. Alright, so stay tuned for part 2.